Couple of years down the road, you have become quite the entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have started your own water company.
What do you mean water company?
So like you were reading an article about like the guy who founded what's that called? Liquid Death and like became like a billionaire or whatever. And it's just,
Okay.
all it is water in what appears to be a beer can, and people fucking love it. And they give them, silly names on purpose and, stuff like that. And so you're reading that and you're like, man, if this stupid son of a bitch can do it, then I definitely can.
Jesus.
And so you kind of started like, well, yeah, I guess it was a little bit of research that you were doing about it, but to be honest with you, your situation was a little bit different from most, water companies. So you couldn't really all the advice and, history that you were reading didn't really apply to you. Because Aaron, a few years down the road, you have discovered a new water source of the freshest water that you've ever tasted in your fucking life. An untapped spring for you to make some fucking money on. And thank God, because the laser tag business that you bought is
Are
not
you
doing very.
fucking kidding me? There's
Yeah,
so
so
much
you're
laser tag on this show.
I think it's because I drive past a place called Blazer Tag literally every single day. So maybe it's just stuck in my brain, but I fucking love laser tag. Bums me out that you don't. But anyway, so you bought a laser tag business and sunk your life savings into it. And man, what a mistake.
Yeah, it sounds like a fucking mistake.
So it's a laser tag business, and it's not in like the best area, you know? So it didn't really attract a lot of that many customers. But
Why am I doing it?
because lately, so your mantra, this is a few years down the road, your mantra for the year is follow my dreams. And January 1st, you crawl into bed, you fall asleep, and you have a dream of you owning your own laser tag business. And it being like a family business, you know, you with like, a family and stuff like that. You're like, holy shit, this could be it.
I have a family.
No, but you're like picturing this in the future, like
Right.
what this purchase could lead to, what this could mean, you know, own your own business, pass it down to, your firstborn, leave behind a legacy of lasers. So you luck and it's like this crazy coincidence because you wake up that the next morning, February 2nd, and you're like, all right, I need to do some research into the laser tag business. And you do a Google search, and the first thing that pops up is, laser tag building for sale. And you're like, whoa. And you click on it, and it's being sold by the family that owned it. Ironically enough, it was like this guy who was going to leave it to his firstborn, but they ran out of money. Things weren't doing well, so now they have to sell it to some fucking guy. So you swoop in and you get it for a pretty good deal, but it's still again your life savings,
It sucks.
and you think to yourself like, I'm gonna turn this around. Like I'm going to do I'm going to put on events here. I'm going to do like party packages. Um, you've booked the comedian Uncle Laser to perform at the
Uncle
laser tag.
Laser?
Yeah, do you know about Uncle Laser?
No.
So Uncle Laser is a real person in Austin. Um, I gotta be honest, he is fucking grown on me. Just search for him on Instagram. It doesn't really matter who he is, but he was gonna perform. But you know, so he actually did perform there, Uncle Laser, at your place. It's called Laser City, and so you're like Uncle Laser at Laser City, except you put the wrong date on the poster, so like nobody came. And then like the next day when like that was the date, like a bunch of people came and you had closed for the day because you were just kind of depressed. So it was all these people who were like, "What the hell? What's going on? Where's all the laser stuff?" So, however, because no one's coming to your laser tag to Laser City, you actually have time to get really good at laser tagging. You can like pick to keep track of your stats and stuff on the computer that you wear, attached to like, the laser gun that you have or whatever. You can pick your like, you call it the warrior name, and your warrior name is Cool Guy 3000. So as under the guise of Cool Guy 3000, you have become very good at laser tag. Like you have set it up because there's training modes, and so where these different things pop up with their own laser things, and you have like a split second to react and get them, and your accuracy has become almost like superhuman. You're doing like somersaults. You have you feel like you're not supposed to have this, but you're like, fuck it, I own the place. You have a bunch of like Tarzan like vines set up that you can like use to swing from one side to the other. You're doing like front flips. Like you can do all this crazy stuff, but only when you're playing laser tag. If you go to a gym and try to replicate your physical feats, it would not work, and you would probably be asked to leave. So one day you're there, Laser City, and there is, again, nobody there. You look down, you're getting some, emails from Uncle Laser because he's like, hey, I need the payment. And you're just like fucking dodging them. And so you are there training one of the weird little
I'm
robot things.
working on my business. I'm dodging a guy that I owe money to. Like, why am
Yeah, Uncle Laser.
fucking hate this?
So you do a move where one of the robot things pops up and you shoot it like right between the fucking eyes, dude. And when you do that, like the game stops and all of the obstacles and like walls and shit like that, they all are slowly like rise from the ground and you realize they're being like picked up by like what look like to be ancient chains from a time period so long ago that it may as well have never existed. The last remaining physical objects of their time period. And you're like, what the hell? And suddenly you're just in an empty room. You look over and the back wall, this isn't an obstacle wall or anything like that. This is an actual, what appears to be like, the back wall. And it starts to rise as well. And behind it, you hear almost like a tinkling of a piano. except you realize it's the sound of running water. And you're like, huh? And you walk to the back and you have like, you realize as you're walking in, because you don't know what you're walking into, you have your laser tag gun up and ready to fire upon any enemies, you know?
So late.
So you
So
walk
laser.
through and there's a running stream of the most crystal clear water that you've ever seen in your life. Like here, it's so clear that if you drink 2 bottles of this, your urine is clear. That's all it takes, dude. Two
Just
bottles.
flushes your system.
Yeah, it's just an added benefit. And so you're like, what the hell is this? And the only thing there is next to it is this beautiful tree. And you see something carved into it. And you're like, what the holy heck is going on? So you walk over and it says, congratulations, warrior. You have scored 1 million points in laser tag. This is your reward. And so you start using the water spring behind the laser tag as a water source. And even though this stream, it's not that big or anything, but it is just. You found that it doesn't matter how many buckets of the good old H2O that you haul out of it, sweaty as fuck, shirtless, that the water, it always restores itself. There's no way for this to ever go dry, you know? And so you start your water group.
And this is how I'm gonna afford the fucking lease at this laser tag place.
Buddy, that lease is fucking peanuts to you right now. That lease, paying the lease is so far from your mind because of how unimportant it is to you, because of just how like little that money means to you now, because you have fucking made quite a lot of money. The water is it's marketed towards tough guys and bikers, and it's called Skull Daddy Water.
Oh, Skull Daddy,
Skull Daddy. It's a skull with like a motorcycle helmet.
Skull Daddy.
Yeah, and like really cool shades. Jet black, the color of midnight on October 31st. And Skull Daddy is kicking ass, dude. Like I said, you market towards, you know, tough guys and
Bikers.
bikers and stuff like that. But also there's people who just enjoy it. So even though it's not necessarily the commercials are like, you know, marketed towards them, people still drink it, you know? It's like how some guys, you know, they wear cowboy hats, but they ain't no cowboy. Sometimes you don't have to be a tough guy to drink Skull Daddy H2O. Now coming in 20 ounces. That's how good it's fucking doing, dude.
I have multiple sizes of Skull Daddies.
And especially nowadays where it seems like a lot of adults aren't drinking as much as they used to. People go out, you know, after they have, you know, 2 drinks or something. Guys will walk up to the bar and they'll just go, "Give me a skull."
Oh,
And the bartender's like, "Hell yeah." They like, you know, grab a
skull. Give me a
yeah,
skull.
give me a skull. And then like they'll be like, give me a fistful of that skull, and it'll like slide down with that a fistful of skull. What that means is you order it, and then you go to the end of the bar. It doesn't matter how big the bar is, and then the bartender opens it and slides it down, and you catch it in your fist.
Jesus Christ. That's
You know?
just standard practice for skull daddies.
Yeah, a fistful of skull. But that's only if you say it like that. It's not like you have to do it. I mean, most people don't do it. That's kind of a so things are going pretty good for you and your whole skull daddy thing. You're hanging out one day. It is your first vacation that you have taken in many years. And you are like, I deserve this. I am going to enjoy myself. You go
What if
to you go to Hawaii and you're there enjoying yourself, having quite the time. You go to then, your first night there, you go to sleep and you have a rather curious dream. In the dream, you're wearing like a pinstriped fucking suit,
okay.
from like the 1920s or whatever.
All right.
Got one of those cool hats on your head. And you are walking down the street and you have a walking cane, but it's just to look cool. You're not using it to actually, you don't need it to actually walk. And on the top, excuse me, on the top of the cane is a skull. And you're walking and you're just like flipping a penny, flipping a penny, flipping a penny as you walk. And then in your dream, you flip the penny and you catch it in your palm. You look down at it and the Abe Lincoln head on it goes, Aaron, you have to stop your water business. You don't understand the damage you're causing. Aaron, I was the president of the United States.
I
You
know who you
need,
are. I went to your childhood home on a field trip. I bought an extra long pencil from the gift shop. I know who you are.
you look down at your walking stick and suddenly it's like turned into that extra large pencil that you bought all those many years ago.
Novelty large pencil. Yeah.
And he goes, okay, just making sure. He goes, you don't understand the evil that's happening. You have to end your business. And then, like, your dream fades away. You wake up. You're like, what the heck? What do you do?
I mean, I'm not going to end my business. You know, I'm not going to, there's very little reason. It's the only thing I got going for me, it seems like.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to keep rocking and rolling.
sure.
I'm going to keep putting skull daddies out there because that's what the people want.
People are ready to get skulled and they're looking for it.
Ugh, getting skulled.
Yeah, that's what people call it after they drink it. Mostly as a joke. That's also part of it, is that like it's a self-aware can of water. And so it's what's cool about drinking water? Nothing. So we have to make it kind of self-aware and a little bit silly, a little purposely over the top for a purposely over the top generation. You go to
It's all
sleep that night.
soft.
You, you,
Skull daddies.
you don't think Skull
Get,
Daddy's kind of
getting
cool?
skulled. No.
Getting skulled, dude.
Give me a can of skull.
And there's a man. I'm sorry about this next one, but there's a thing that you can do at a bar where you
What?
get you mix specific specifically Skull Daddy water with a shot of vodka, and you call it getting skull fucked.
I
Hey
call it that?
bartender, skull fuck me. No, that's like a thing
No,
that people say like at
this is
bars and
awful.
stuff. Yeah, I'm
You know
again
what?
sorry about that, but
On second thought, I think I will just shut this down. I think I'm going to take Abe Lincoln's advice, and
yeah.
I think I'm just gonna end it.
So you just decide to shut down the business.
I'm going to sell the brand, and I'm going to get out of it. Let fucking
So
Nestle or whoever figure it out from this point.
sure. So you call your lawyer or who like your business manager, whomever you call to start arranging something like that. You call him. It's this guy. He's your business manager. His name is you just people just call him Baby Elton because he looks like a young Elton John, American, but he looks like a young Elton John. So people call him Baby Elton. Most people just call him Baby. And you have a at this point a pretty a close working relationship with this guy. So you call him up. He's like he answers the phone. He's like, Baby Elton Management. What's up, Aaron? What do you say?
I say, baby Elton, it's
It's
time for me
me.
to cash out.
He goes,
Sell
what
the
do you mean?
brand. Sell it. I don't
He
want
goes,
to be a
Aaron,
skull dad. I don't want to be a skull daddy anymore. I've done irreparable harm.
he goes, what are you talking about? Irreparable harm. Aaron, you sell water. What are you talking about?
I went out. I just went out.
He goes,
I don't feel comfortable with my patrons and their laissez-faire attitude and how that reflects on the brand. I don't want to be a part of it anymore.
he's like, whoa, okay. If that's what you want, I guess I can get the proceedings going. Are you sure about this, Aaron?
Yeah, let's see what people want to buy it for.
He goes, okay. I mean, sure. I mean, you are gonna cash out and make a pretty penny here, and I'm not gonna lie. Uh, Interesting. I guess that's that. I'll talk to you. Let me get the wheels in motion, and I'll call you tomorrow, baby.
Great. Thanks, Elton. Baby Elton.
He's like, I'm gonna miss working with you, Aaron. You always were a decent guy, and that's rare in the water business.
Thanks. Get me the fuck out of here.
He's like, all right. He hangs up. A few hours later, you get an email from him that says the different people and how much they're offering.
Yeah.
Nestle is offering to buy it for $500 million. You're like, holy shit. And then the email says the other group that's looking to buy it is this company called the Lanalax Corporation. And they are offering you, Aaron, I don't even really know how to say this, $3 trillion. So that's probably the one. That's probably the one to do. Anyway, give me a call,
You think
please.
so? This is probably the one to do. Yeah, I guess
So
I would sell it for $3 trillion.
you sell it to $3 trillion. You're sitting there like waiting to like sign the all the paperwork and stuff, and the Lanalax business manager, the head of their business management division, comes by. He's this guy. He's wearing a suit that is definitely a size too big. Other than that, he seems to be a fairly normal enough guy. He introduces himself only as Mr. Seraph. And you kind of look at him and he goes, as in the angel. And he's like, yeah, I know. It's a little odd. So you sit down and you sign the paperwork, giving your all this company over to the Lanalax Corporation. They are paying you in return, they are paying you $3 trillion all up front.
Great. I'm gonna take it to the fucking bank. I'm gonna go to my local credit union.
You go out that night and you celebrate. You look at you go out with like a couple of, local LA friends. You're like, guys, I'm taking all of us out to dinner. We're celebrating tonight.
I just made $3 trillion.
Yeah, I want everyone to order 2 entrees tonight. We're going in on the finest restaurants that Los Angeles has to offer. And you go, don't worry, fellas. It's on me for the rest of your fucking lives. And they all go, yeah. Like, everyone like cheers. So you get into, excuse me, you get into your limo. You reach into your wallet. You're like, I'm just going to tip this dude up front. Like, that's going to be your thing from now on is always have cash and always tip up front instead of at the end. So you pull out your wallet to break this dude off, and you open up your wallet, and there's a $5 bill in there. And Abe Lincoln looks at you and he goes, Aaron, I told you to shut it down, not to sell it. Do you have any idea what you've done? The Skull Daddy's coming. And then from
Fuck.
outside, you hear like, when you think of like a 80s guitar squeal sound, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah,
Boing!
yeah, yeah,
That kind
yeah.
of thing. You hear that sound from outside, and it is easily the loudest thing you've ever heard in your life. And you're like, what the fuck? And you look out the window, and coming through from
What
what
the
appears to
fuck?
be what must be another dimension is this
Oh, okay.
giant floating skull that has a motorcycle helmet and
Great.
jet black sunglasses. Sunglasses the color of death. And he looks down and you hear him scream. And it's like a gigantic skull. And you hear him scream, I'm the Skull Daddy, baby. And he proceeds to just consume the entire earth.
Jesus Christ, Pat. The fucking skull daddy.
Yeah, the Skull Daddy. He used you as a way to break through to the physical plane. He ended up destroying the entire
Great.
earth.
You fucking kidding me?
And then
All those people.
after that, he consumed the stars.
That's that.
Skull Daddy.
He's just doing it with a squeal the whole time.
Yeah, the most 80s guitar squeal ever.
God damn. That sucks.
Eddie Van Halen times 10,000. But
Just
yeah,
fucking
that's
Ingve jacking off somewhere. This sucks. The fucking skull daddy sucks.
the
And
Skull Daddy.
all the shit with all the skull daddy people, all of the bullshit that they do, all of the skull fucker, all sliding the fucking fuck this. This world deserved to be devoured by a fucking ancient demon. Skull daddy sucks. All the skull
And
daddy
they
people
did.
suck.
And
Yeah.
they did get devoured.
Yeah. Good. Good
The
riddance.
Skull Daddy. I think the Skull Daddy rules.
Cousin of the scrub daddy.